Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's showdown between Blackout, Eclipse, and Asura in the first round of playoffs, the Master Tier CGL. My name's Alpine, and I'm with my lovely co-caster, Vert. How are you doing today, Vert?
Man, I'm doing great. Masters tier is back, bro. We got so
We,
many good
we,
games.
we
My
are
alarm
so
just went off. We're
back.
so back, bro.
We are so back. I am so ready. I'm ready for more playoff games. We already had two this week,
hmm
and of course we have two happening tonight. With one of these being Blackout and Asura, of course, the one we're doing, and then the other one being UTD and Fallen Vortex, streamed by CGL as well. So two great games tonight. But I'm very excited for this Blackout versus Asura game. I think it's gonna be a great one. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that, Vert?
I mean, it just depends on which version of Blackout comes out tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
Because previously, when these two teams met up in the midseason playoffs, Blackout 3-0'd them. It was a close 3-0, like Suravasa was 3-2, but they still won. And then also, while Asura's second half of the season was, not what they had hoped for, they did start taking teams, to random map fives here and there.
Yeah.
And they started showing that they can compete. So I really think it's going to depend on mentals. My mentality when we go into playoffs is every team is 0-0. You never know who your opponent is going to be on any given day. You never know how good they're going to be. So I'm just excited to see it happen. And I mean, you know, it also is going to be a very interesting series because I feel like these are two teams who play very two different styles of play.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. I'm excited to see what our players can do tonight. Both these teams came off of wins after in week 8 of the regular season.
Mhm,
So I'm sure they're feeling pretty really really good right now. I'm excited to see what MSR can do, what Cupid can do, what
mhm.
Hairball can do. Any of these players can do. I think any one of these players could pop off any given night, and I'm sure we're here to see a very very good showdown here. And I believe our first map here is going to be Lijiang, which I'm not sure who that would favor here.
Well, I think that's a very obvious pick from Blackout. They can run the dive, but their main tank player tends to be Shoreline. They like to lean on him, and he's not known for his dive. He's typically known for his Ramatra here. So I highly suspect that that Li Zhang pick is to try to start getting some early momentum. Leo Leopard is also very good, and the Brawl style. Wiz obviously on that Lucio. So that's definitely what they're wanting to run. What's going to be interesting is again, these teams run kind of two completely separate styles of play. Asura, typically known for their hazard or their diva or their dive, and I think obviously, taking a loss like that, I don't care if it was 4 or 5 weeks ago, you can still look at the VODs and have a lot to learn from. You can learn, how players react. Maybe their game plan is, if they're running a dive to try to isolate someone like Cupid or someone like Vey. Um, Obviously, we won't know until we see it. I do know that Asura does have a Vendetta player in them, so maybe they can run some Brawl too. It just kind of depends because also another thing we haven't talked about yet on stream is that there was a quite the patch change
There
just a few
was.
days ago that it's kind of hit or miss, but it did shake some things up.
It did, and now we're looking here at the starting lineups. We see Shoreline in, Cupid in on D. Or sorry, Shoreline on tank, Cupid and Leo Leopard on DPS, Wiener Wizard and Veiloves on support.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me.
It does make very much sense to me. And then on the other side of the ball, we see Asura with their starting lineup with being MSR Warrior on tank, Dong Waggler and Hairball on DPS, Irelia and Sikoso on support.
Yeah, and again, we already see him as Sar kind of hovering his preferred hero on that Hazard, and we know that Lijiang Tower could still be a good map for Hazard. Ever since Hazard was moved to that initiator role instead of the stalwart, I think that's how you say it.
Forward, yeah.
Um, he's been kind of like a sleeper pick in the meta. I kind of noticed in scrims and then in comp ever since he moved him that he's been doing quite well. It's kind of like if you can't really run a diva, Hazard is kind of a really good substitute for diva right now, especially because of the passives that the initiator gives. So Lijiang Tower's got plenty of room for that. But I mean, come on, at its core, this is a brawl map,
Yeah.
except for maybe like gardens. But this is where a lot of the brawl goes down. So obviously, we're gonna have to see how these bans go. I do believe that Blackout Eclipse does get the first ban as the higher seed. So I mean, knowing that Asura likes to run the brawl, knowing that Asura likes to run the dive, you like to run the brawl. I mean, if you were Blackout here, what would you be looking to ban here?
I'm thinking maybe you want to maybe target the MSR warrior hero pool there. You might want to try to take out that hazard, like we were saying. Like you were saying, it's a very underrated pick in the meta right now. He's Hazard's looking very strong, and that is one of MSR's best heroes. And maybe try to force a better matchup for you, maybe a Zarya or something
Mhm.
similar. If you're on the side of Blackout.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. And then, I think Sora on their side for their ban, depending on what's taken off first, I mean, maybe you can try to jump the gun if you feel like you don't really have, I think for as much praise as Cupid's gotten, there is a bit of a small hole in his hero pool, and it is the Imre. I mean, we've seen it. We saw it versus Balin in the Diamond Eagle series. He kind of looked a little bit outmatched there. So you could look to ban like the Cassier. You could look to ban the Soj and kind of force him onto that Imre mirror, especially if Hairball is playing it, because Imre is also pretty good right now. I mean, we're just kind of in a place, Alpine, where a lot of heroes are very viable. So
They
I'm
are.
just excited
It's
to see it. The Farah ban, that does
the
make sense
far.
to me.
It
Asora's
does make
played a
sense.
good bit of Farah.
Yeah, if you've watched any bit of Asura, they like a Mercy Farah comp. Um, and they take a very quite big liking to that. And I think Blackout are smart for banning that, especially since
Mhm.
fair is really good on this map, anyways. So it really just goes hand in hand, I think, with the comps and just the fact that she's really good on this map. So that ban makes perfect sense to me. I think it's a really good ban by Blackout.
Yeah. Um, So, again, I think that might be Blackout trying to look to force Asura onto something a little bit more uncomfortable. Maybe, run a different variation of their dive, or maybe try to get them to fight them head on. Maybe you want to save that hazard ban for a little bit later on if you feel like it's going to be a problem.
Mm,
And so I feel like Asura could honestly, if you wanted to just go ahead and ban the Ramantra here, you
you
could.
could, yeah.
You could ban the Ramantra. So that would be, I feel like, a pretty decent ban here. Obviously, Kings Row and other brawl maps are in the pool, so you might want to wait as well. That's what I've noticed a lot. So a lot of these teams kind of want to wait to pull the trigger on their bans
Mm,
until I guess a better time. But I don't know, if you know it'll help, then shoot
yeah,
it.
I guess so. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what Asura picks here. I do think that a Ram ban is definitely on the table, and I think that might be the most likely pick here. But I could also see maybe Asura banning a Lucio here.
Yeah.
Um, I think that might be a good ban for them. Especially now that they can't target anything that Cupid can play. If
Hmm.
I was a Sir, I would want to just my main goal is to shut down Cupid as much as possible, and maybe banning a hero he's comfortable on, especially on a map like Lijiang Tower to start on. Um, that, but now that's off the table. Maybe you try to target the shoreline hero pool, or maybe you try to target the Lucio for speed. I guess we'll have to see what Asura goes ahead and bans here.
Yeah, I mean, we can theorize, but we won't know until it's on screen. And that's another good point you made is in the Diamond Eagle series, the last stream that we did for Blackout. It seemed like if you kind of get Cupid out of it a little bit early on, Blackout can struggle a little bit. It wasn't until later on in the series that he started really picking it up versus Balin, and started doing really well there. But I guess we'll just kind of have to see where this goes. I'm just excited to see like how these teams play. Again, it is double elimination for those of you at home who don't know. So it's not like a win or go home immediately situation, but you really don't want to be in that losers bracket too early. The longer you're in the winners bracket, probably the most preferred. Now, what is interesting, Alpine, is the winner of the series is going to go on to play Shoes Production Crew. And this bracket is so stacked with how many
It
teams
is.
that it has to be done by this Sunday. So the winner of this game, gets maybe max 2 scrims Friday and Saturday to try to prepare for the Goliath of Shoes Production Crew, and play them on Sunday. And that's if you get the Sunday game. You might have to play on like a Saturday or even a Friday.
Yeah.
If
I,
so.
I mean,
Um,
hey, if I'm one of these teams, maybe I'm not too worried about Shoes production crew. As the fact that there's rumors that they don't scrim that often, um, but I would still be very scared of Shoes production crew. I would definitely use a lot of more of my prep time because Shoes is a very scary team no matter what. Um, and I'm sure one of these teams are very excited to see them, and I'm sure they'll be very well prepared to meet them.
we're gonna have that Lucio ban. You nailed it
There
on
it
the
is.
head. Maybe you should be the color caster because you definitely got it right. The Lucio ban here, and so to me that kind of says that they're going to look to try to slow that brawl down. So I'm curious to see what they run here then,
Yeah.
and that's the case.
I could see Blackout maybe trying to run a Juno and make that work, as best as possible because Juno is still a little bit viable even with her little speed nerf there. I still think she can get some things done. Um, I think it's still a very viable pick for them. Or you could just see maybe a double flex, just to try to out heal the onslaught that could come. Um, but I guess we'll have to see when we get into match here.
Yeah, I mean, also there is the Kiriko Wuyan, is still a very decent uh backline, still very suitable. And also just for the viewers at home who aren't aware, the new DPS hero Sierra is not going to be available for the playoffs.
No, she will
So
not be.
we won't be playing her. We won't be seeing her. How do you feel about her? I feel like she's a little undertuned. I really like her
I
kit, but I feel like the
Yeah.
numbers are kind of
Yeah, as a hit scan player, do think she's a little undertuned, but I do very much enjoy her kit a lot. I think she's a very, very good hero, and I'm sure if they buff her a little bit, she could find her way into a few matches here and there.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like she's a lot like Imre, and the fact that when Imre first came out, people were like, "Oh, well, Soj can just do anything better that Imre can do, so there's no reason to play Imre." But
Yep.
then you realize that, Imre with not a lot of fall off can just sit on range. He's got good,
Okay.
survivability, so you might as well. And also, he is a true hit scan, whereas Soj is kind of a projectile hit scan
Yeah.
um, combination. So, but here we go. We're gonna see this composition soon. I'm excited. I'm
I'm
excited.
very excited. All this theorizing, and it leads up to here to see what we will play. We start
Yeah,
off here on Night Market, and we see Shoreline still on that Ramatra, and MSR Warrior looking to take a liking to that Mauga, which I do like that pick from them. And it looks like, could we get a potential Cat Juno comp from Blackout? That's very interesting to think about there.
I think he's probably trolling us with the cat.
Yep,
Yeah, I think he's gonna
yep,
play the brick here. My question is the tracer on the side of Cupid? I mean, I wonder. Okay, he's gonna go to the
yeah.
Soj. This
The
comp.
Tor
Oh my god! What the Torbjorn
the
coming
Torbjorn
out?
from Asura. Here we go. Here's something
Okay.
interesting.
Um.
I'm very
All
excited to see
right.
what yeah. All right, and we will go into our opening fight here. Just exchanging some blows here in the neutral, just shooting at each other from very, very far away. Trying to get some poke out, trying to get as much damage done. Shoreline here at half health. Blackout rotating towards point here as the story goes to meet them on point as the main. Shoreline just holding this line down, looking to just hold this line against the onslaught that is MSR on this Mauga. Shoreline comes running at the back line full speed. Cupid finds a pick on our Irelia. Shoreline has to throw up the hands and go back. Cupid finds another pick on the hairball. Shoreline falls. MSR Warrior stomps on Cupid's head. And it looks like Asura might take this if they can clean up another kill here. And that seems to be that's a first fight win, but there was a cap from Blackout Eclipse only to get 11%.
It
But it
looked
ends up
like
being a good fight.
the back line of Blackout and Shoreline were on separate pages. I mean, the Juno speed came out, but maybe they were cut off by MSR on the Mauga or something. But Shoreline definitely wanted to go in there, and he kind of had to come back and was just kind of blown up. But obviously, Cupid getting hot a little bit early, but we'll just have to see how Asura responds here, or I guess kind of holds the line here as we get back into the second fight.
Yeah. All right, Shoreline approaching main here, trying to just challenge the Mauga here. Cupid just trying to charge up his rail, get some good stuff going here. As Blackout holding this line back here, just trying to find an opening here, but can't really get nothing going. Just a lot of damage being brought out, but no kills are being found. Shoreline quite low, and Asura holding back Blackout Eclipse from any advances. Hairball awfully low, and Blackout rotating around point. Cupid does have his overclock available.
Ooh.
Finds gets stomped on, but MSR pops his cage, but the cage seems to be getting shredded. Shoreline finds a pick onto Aurelia, and it's looking good. Cupid actually falls off the map, and now it's a 5v3 in the favor of Asura. Dongwagler finds another one on the Arena Wizard. And if you're Blackout Eclipse, you just have to get out of here, but Leo does find a trade onto Hairball. Shoreline with the hands, popping the Annihilation. MSR still going at it. Shoreline falls, popping the Annihilation. It is not a great fight if you're Blackout Eclipse.
I mean, this composition on the side of Azora is unironically kind of brilliant because it's kind of like it's kind of like a sim comp. Once you have that Torbjorn established on point, it's really hard to push into it. Now, I mean, once you lose that point, the strat becomes really hard, but they just have so much spam that's just available to them. And Blackout using so many ults thinking that it was winnable at so many points, and it just was not. The huge anti coming in from Vey on the Honest swap, as we see Hairball using his ultimate trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Hairball picking it up, trying to just shoot Shoreline with his hands up. Shoreline does fall in his last fight territory. Leo Leopard soon falls to the Torbjorn. Cupid trying his best, trying to get that Hairball pick, but he can't do it. The backline alone and afraid, and the first round goes in the way of Asura.
Yeah, and I mean, if Blackout does not find some answers for this Mauga comp, this is going to look kind of easy for Asura here. I think the Lucio ban was unironically kind of brilliant. I think Asura definitely did do their homework and realized, we might not be able to beat them head on in the dive. So why don't we? Do we have a pause? Is there a pause? Oh, okay. I thought there was a pause,
There is
but
no pause.
there's some changes
Uh,
coming in.
Alright.
But anyway, we'll have to see the adjustments here. Shoreline on the Diva. I mean, I think this is a good response. I think for
Yeah,
this map, the Torb comp's going to be a lot harder.
yeah, it is gonna be a lot harder. I think Asura found a good way to get that first point and find some momentum on them. Hopefully, Blackout can find some answers here with Leo actually switching onto the Reaper, which is definitely interesting. But I think it's way better against the Malga. Gives you a lot more
Mhm.
sustain, a lot more damage here. As you see a fight happen onto the far bridge here. Amistar pushing forward, just trying to pressure out this Diva. Just a lot of damage. And Cupid actually just takes out Hairball in the pre-fight here. Leo, Leopard, and Shoreline are just trying to get just trying to get some things out here. Shoreline finds Irelia. Amistar alone on the point, just trying to make his presence known, but unable to. Cupid goes around, finds the Koso, and Amistar is alone on this point. No support besides for the support turret on the outside. Dong Wackler actually finds a trade onto Cupid. Wow.
Good job, Don Wagler.
Dong Wackler still fighting the good fight here.
Yeah, he's still going in. I mean, as long as MSR is alive, it's always going to be winnable. I mean, the honest swap was kind of brilliant from the side of A, but this comp from Asura is actually, while as cringe as it is actually is very smart into what they want to do towards Blackout. And the anti comes out, but I mean, there's just so much space in between. They can even follow up on it, and somehow they're now losing this fight despite Cupid's best efforts.
Yeah. Cupid does get a trade out after the 2 picks onto from Asura. Chikosa goes down from Cupid. Uh, it's gonna be kind of a quick back, and we see both teams just trying to regroup here, or we see Blackout trying to regroup here as Asura holds this bridge choke on the close side to point.
Blackout is going to be a lot closer to Ultimates than Asura is, except for that Malga cage.
Yep.
MSR just taking up so much, like, there's just so much, attention that he is basically forcing Blackout to give him, because if you don't, he's just going to, like, run down your back line. And so, just a big husky man on point, but we're going to see them probably press the go button here in a second now.
Yep. Leo gets the nano, pushes it in, trying to find anything right now, but has to wraith out as he falls extremely low. Cupid going on the left flank, finds one onto Irelia just before the cage comes up. Leo stuck in this cage with MSR. Shoreline putting in as much demon as he can onto it, but Leo Leopard still falls. Overclock comes out from Cupid. He can't find much right now. Cupid moving on to the left side again, finds Hairball, finds Sakosa with a headshot. Dongwager trades out for Cupid, and it is a 3v3 on point, or no, 4v3 on point in the favor of Blackout. MSR falling to half health, but the Wiener Wizard does pop the rally. Leo Leopard is back in time, and if you're sure, you have to back up here. You have to get your numbers back up. You're trying to hold something, but MSR is purple and on point. He might die here. Hairball does find a pick. It finds 2 picks onto Blackout, and this fight is going on for forever here. Shoreline falling down to half health, and actually falling down to 1 HP. No supports are back, but Leo Leopard does find Hairball, and you're going to see a cap come out here. But that is a 93% coming out from Asura. That was a great stall from them.
Yeah, Invade, it's not the worst because you get 3 ultimates out from the side of Asura, and Invade is almost back up to that nano boost. But now you're going to have 2 of the best support ultimates in the game at your disposal here in this room. And so you're going to have to hope that Leo, gets really something done with this Reaper ult here, and that maybe Shoreline can get something with the bomb, even though it's really hard in today's Overwatch meta. As it looks like Asura is ready to kind of press the go button already, and an early pick on today is going to be rough.
Leo pops his ult, trying to find anything, but MSR is just tanking it right now. MSR still on point, holding it back. With Dongwager just keeps finding these picks on the Cupid, man. It's great to see MSR falling very, very low. Shoreline does pop the bomb, but only finding the turret. MSR pops his cage and finds Shoreline into it. Shoreline still in his cage, gets out of the back. Hairball finds it, does finish off the Shoreline, and Baylove trapped on right next to the point. This will be very staggered here on the side of Blackout. You're gonna have to try to get touches here as the side of Asura gets a. Oh, Cupid actually finds a pick. Cupid trying to do all he can right now. The fight is
oh my god.
Cupid finding 2 picks, but Dongwager puts an end to his reign. Leo Leopard on point, just stalling here as Shoreline is back on Doomfist. Finds one onto Dongwager. MSR putting a stop out. Shikoso finding Leo Leopard. Wiener Wizard just putting out as much damage as he can. Pops the rally. That's an all-out brawl here.
I don't know. The sustainability on the side of Asura is probably going to win them this fight, despite Cupid's best efforts. I mean, they just have a lot more sustain. I mean, he's trying to get as many picks as he can, trying to make something happen. Hopefully a C9 doesn't occur.
Oh, Cupid, 2 picks for Cupid, but steps into the lava of the Torbjorn. It's not looking good, but still, Asura are down 1 man. Blackout are still up 1. you do have the Scarecrow, but a turret from Dog Waggler finds Shoreline. That is not a great pick for, if you're on the side of Blackout. Cupid switches to the trade, trying to find something. Leo Leopard trapped in the cage. Both members of Blackout are in the
Wow.
cage, and it's just a full cap from Asura. Asura takes
Wow.
the map 2-0. Very chaotic last fight. Hard to keep track of what's happening, but Asura does pull it out, and that is a great first map if you're Asura.
That is a good first map from Asura as well, and obviously Cupid on the Soj, trying to get as much done as he could. It just felt like, again, the Malgo was just taking up so much attention. And normally when that's happening, you kind of have two solutions for that. You can either, just ignore the Malgo and go for the backline, which is what Shoreline looked like he was trying to do, but you have a Torb turret that's taking up your attention. You have an Emre that's spamming down choke taking up your attention. I mean, that was just the spam comp for the Century. And I'm not trying to say that it was like brilliant, but compared to what Blackout was trying to do, I mean, it was definitely the right call there. And so now if you're Blackout, you're almost tempted to not want to go like any brawling maps, but you also don't want to play full on dive because you might just get spammed out. I feel like what was happening was Asura was spamming out the supports for Blackout so well that when Shoreline was looking to trade to try to ignore the Malga because he figured, Malga's not killable here, the supports couldn't even see him because they were just being, jumped on. So, gonna have to see how Blackout responds here. Asura definitely looking much improved and looking like they want, they're ready to prove something going into these playoffs.
I agree. I agree with all those points there. Asura taking a great first map, and yeah, I think if you're Blackout, you might try to avoid these more brawly comps and maybe go for something that can maybe give you a little bit more poke out here. Um, and maybe you want to try to avoid the King's Rows of the worlds, or something like that. And maybe even a bigger question is, do you ban out this Torb now? Because Torb was finding a whole lot of value in that match, finding multiple picks there, which was very impressive. We were questioning at first, but I guess we just did not see the genius behind it all.
No, and obviously Torb isn't, he's not as much of a throw pick as he used to be. He definitely has a spot in the meta now. It's like a niche, obviously, not like, full on.
Yeah,
But the thing is like when you look at a comp like this, you could just ban the Malga, but you don't want to ban the Malga early on. And if you're a Sora, my philosophy is like if you catch fire with something, you might want to keep it. Because again, remember, the last time these two teams faced, it was a 3-0 on the side of Blackout. And so getting a map off of them, you might feel like, wait a minute, we might just be goaded. So you might just want to stick to what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a thing. And we'll have to see how how this goes.
yeah. I
Who
mean,
knows?
yeah. If my question is, if Blackout decide to ban out this Torb, what do you run on the side of the DPS action? And I'm thinking maybe, of course, you brought up the Vendetta, but she did get a pretty nasty nerf, and we do get the map revealed to us. It's going to be King's Row here.
Yeah, and I understand you might feel less confident on that brawl, but what I will say, a big point and pivotal strategy to Blackout is their Lucio. Their Lucio does play a lot really well, like with sorry, what was I trying to say? I spaced out for a second. The Lucio plays often with Cupid. They go and they try to make something happen. And he made a lot happen on last map, but maybe having the Lucio with you might help a little bit. Maybe it even might help with the engages for Shoreline. So I understand that you still feel like your brawl can work, and to their credit, I still think it can. But if you're a Sora, I mean, you're licking your lips waiting for Blackout's ban to come through because if they don't ban the Malga, you're probably going to run it again.
I agree. I think the Malga is a great pick, especially on King's Row here. We have long open lanes to just jump on someone, but maybe a little bit more worrisome with how many more high grounds there are on King's Row besides maybe that third point, where you can't exactly dive on them, where a Diva would be better here. And we do see a Kiri ban come out from the side of Blackout Eclipse.
This is a good ban. I like this ban.
Yeah,
I like
you
this ban
can't.
a lot.
Yep, you can't
Go
cleanse
ahead.
the. Yeah, so you can't cleanse the purple from the Malga anymore. So it does hurt the Malga, of course, without exactly banning him.
But also, this is going to force Asura's flex support line to make some adjustments because I know a lot more about Blackout than I do Asura, so I don't know if Asura has a BAP in them, but I know that SkyJ does play for Blackout and he's got a good BAP on him. But you even might, just want to keep Vay in here for an Ana, and you just run like an
Yeah.
Ana Lucio. So, this is definitely a good ban. I think it's definitely going to get them out of some sticky situations, and it's going to force Asura to be more careful with their engages. So, Blackout trying to, make. I think they're kind of playing the long game with this ban. They want to have a good, effective ban for Kings Row, but they don't want to quite ban the Malga yet. Which again, I understand. You might want to hold on to that.
Yeah. And I think on the side of Asura, you're probably looking at the ban, and you might be thinking, maybe just ban the Ram out, since Ram is so very strong on this map, and try to just force Shoreline onto the Diva, or maybe you do ban the Diva and try to get the DM out of there and force Shoreline onto that Ramattra, which seems to be struggling. But now that you have a Lucio back on the board, it might be a little bit better and more viable on the side of Blackout, to run that Ram again.
Yeah, but then again, Asura could also just could also just ban the Ramatra here, or Cupid was kind of running your pockets. You could just go ahead and ban the Soj, and because now that DPS ban is up for grabs, and force him onto that Imre. Um, so there's actually still a lot of good bans at the disposal of Asura.
Yeah,
But I will say I still feel like Blackout individually, a lot of them had a good map. Like Leo, I feel like played fine. Wiz, all of them, I feel like they did okay. But Asura definitely had the better team strategy, the better team
yeah,
cohesion, and the Ram ban
there it is.
is bad because I mean, what are you going to run into Malgarum? Zarya? I mean,
Yeah,
like that's going to be really hard. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a sub come in on the side of Blackout, like maybe Pikachu or someone who's going to play that diva.
yeah.
Because Shoreline can run it, but definitely not known for that. And so maybe, Kings Row, very good for Brawl, but also it is very versatile in the fact that you can run a lot of things. And also, if anyone here watches OWCS, which we're all Overwatch nerds, so I'm sure we do. I know you do, Alpine.
Oh yes, I do.
Um, Diva's kind of become a bit of a Brawl tank
Yeah,
as of recently. So, she's versatile in the fact that she doesn't just have to dive anymore.
yeah. She really is a jack of all trades, a raid boss, if you say so. Um, but yes, I do believe that they probably will bring in Pikachu to play the diva, and get you. You know, uh, yeah, I think they'll try to force out the diva here, against an MSR Mauga or maybe even a Zarya, um, because MSR can play Zarya as well, which may not be the best thing to run it. And if you're on the side of Blackout, playing the diva into Zarya might not be the best thing. So we'll figure out what
Yeah,
happens in match.
I mean, yes, match time will only tell, and I'm not quite sure if we're getting any substitutes yet. I haven't heard anything from Prod, so I'm not sure if we are or we aren't. But I'm sure we're probably going to get in lobby here sometime soon. And what I think. So we're gonna have three
Three
subs coming
subs,
in
yeah.
here. Pikachu coming in, not surprised. Roadhog style, also not surprised. And then SkyJ, yeah, I mean I said that.
Yeah.
He's got a BAP in him, so you want to run a Lucio BAP here maybe, or even SkyJ could also play Diana. And Roadhog style has played a little bit of Vendetta, so maybe nothing crazy here. Also, some substitutions on the side of Asura. Actually, I don't think there's any subs at
No,
all.
no subs, no swaps. No substitutes on the side of Asura. They're gonna run it back on the exact same lineup there, and it's going to be a good jolly day if you're Asura to think about that you're up 1-0. But we're gonna see how Blackout responds. I'm sure they have something in their back pocket that's cooking up to try to respond to Asura. And yeah. Oh, and yes, and now that actually leaves you open, of course, like we said, the Lucio. So maybe the Lucio does help you out a lot here if you are Blackout Eclipse. Maybe it gives you a lot more speed around in the area. Like you said, helps keep it out on his off angles, but we shall see what the comps are looking like here pretty soon. So if you're Sora, you're coming into this game feeling really, really good. You're up 1-0. You're gonna try to carry that momentum throughout. But if you're Blackout,
Yeah.
you're looking at that 1-0 deficit right now, and you're going to use it as to fuel the fire of a comeback here. Um, so let's see. The comps are coming out now, and Blackout Eclipse are on their standard.
Hmm.
Oh wait, we see Wiener Wizard on the Baptiste instead of Sky J. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think that also makes sense. You know,
Ah,
you're fully anticipating Amalga to come out. Now, the issue is Asura is not going to run the Malga now. They're going to run a different composite, or maybe they're trolling us. You know, maybe they're going to run the Malga. I don't know. I already see the Juno out. I already see Hairball on the Genji, so maybe they're
yeah,
lying. Farah, that also makes sense. Maybe they're going to go
yeah.
back to their. Is the Mercy on the table? They're going to
Mercy
run.
is on the table.
They're gonna run a weird brawl dive thing. I don't know. Their
Oh,
comps haven't made sense to me, but it worked last map, so
we sh- yeah,
we'll see
we
you
shall
work your
see.
magic.
Yeah, we shall see. Blackout position really quite far back here, and Asura keeping to the top of the top of back site here, as we're just trying to find more angles down onto Blackout rotating towards the motel. Pikachu diving up top, just loses back really early. Roadhog style finds a pick onto Dongwaggler on the Pharah.
That's
Roadhog style,
interesting.
jumping all the way up here, trying to find anything. Cupid on this Ash, rotating. We see a full rotate coming out here as these teams are playing Ring Around the Rosy with each other, trying to find a better pick onto each other, and trying to find a equal strike move here. Roadhog style on the side, looking to get something done. And Asura actually falls down onto the point.
My
Also,
gosh.
it's found on the top by Roadhog style. Aurelia finds a pick on the Wiener Wizard, which is good. Cupid falls off the high ground, and Pikachu actually gets out of mech here. Roadhog style very low in the back here, and things are kind of falling apart here for Blackout Eclipse.
Yeah, I just mean like Asura's just they look prepared and they're coming out with a bunch of different strategies, and they're just throwing a bunch of curveballs at their way, and it just looks like Blackout is struggling heavily to adapt. You know, it's gonna be they're getting off the sim, which is gonna be that's a huge pick on the Wiz there. Um, Seeing the ball swap, and to me, this just doesn't make sense unless you swap some other things because you're not running a dive. Your back line is screaming poke. Your DPS line is screaming poke. So I'm very confused by this. And that's also a really bad pick that you can't have going on. I mean, things are just falling apart really quickly here for Blackout.
Yeah, Asura finding all the right picks in all the right places. As Dongwaggler and MSR hold this up front here, Hairball pushing in the carts. Pikachu just trying to find a little bit of poke here in the early fight, trying to find something. Cupid falling quite low to half health, but is cared rather quickly. Pikachu hanging out on these rooftops like Batman, waiting for the perfect time to strike and finds it right now. Dives onto the cart, finds Dogwaggler on the first pick. Pikachu trying to lead the scene of the crime rather quickly. Cupid falling really low on the side of Blackout, and is characteristically Roadhog style switches to the Samurai. Pikachu really low and gets found by Hairball. Cupid still on the high ground, pops the Bob to try to win fights here, and finds a sleeping on it, waiting for him to feast on. Hairball also falls down to Cupid. Cupid finds 3 here in this fight to turn it all around. Cupid finds 4 to win this fight. Can he get the ace? And Cupid gets the ace to turn that fight around. Oh my goodness gracious.
I mean, that's what we're going to have to see out of Cupid, I think, to win this series at this point,
Yeah.
because Blackout does not seem to know. They just seem to be confused. They seem to be shocked. I mean, Asura is just running really odd things here, and they seem practiced on it. So, you know, credit to them where credit is due. And they're also going to have a crap ton of ults this fight. So, you know, Cupid's going to have to get an early pick or something to make anything happen, but it's just looking pretty dire here. Is that a solo ult onto a Wrecking Ball?
I believe so, but Hairball finds this pick onto Wiener Wizard. It is looking not very good. Once again, it's not looking very good for Blackout Eclipse. But everyone on the side of Asura is kind of low, actually. But Nano goes here onto MSR Warrior, and they should be cleaning up things here. Pika is sleeping on the cart. Cupid finding another pick on the Dongwaggler. Can he do it again here? But no, they can't. He gets found and traded. Roadhog style still here in the back, trying to make him trying to have a heroic play. Racing towards the cart, trying to stop it. But will probably fall very soon. And that's be another cap coming out.
Yeah, you got some time off the board, but the ult economy was just not in your favor. The good news is they only used 2 ults that fight. They still have 3 to work with, and Blackout is still struggling to catch up to any. The Nano came out at some point, but I'm not quite sure who it was on. And Yeah, it just feels like Blackout struggling to get their footing in this series. I mean, Asura again looks really well practicing what they're trying to do. It just feels like there's just so much constant damage. I mean, and yeah, you get a pick on the Wiz and just trade it out, but again, it's just this
Yeah.
damage is relentless.
And you have both hit skins trading out for each other. Pikachu trying to get something going, but does find
Okay,
Dongwagler, who is sitting on the ground, waiting for the Jets to refuel. Keep it popping the Bob, finding Sakoso here, and I realize the only remaining member of Asura to live that fight. Blackout getting their footing into this fight here, and maybe they can get a third point hold going here. Maybe they
third
finally
point
find their
is
footing.
very easy to hold, and with picks like that on the hairball, I mean, it's probably going to be easy to do that if you can get it consistently enough. Roadhog style, kind of frontlining while Dong Waggler's trying to get something done in the back. Huge Emor from SkyJ to try to keep it up here. And this fight again is just dissolving.
Yeah, Blackout still finding a little bit of fight.
Huge slam.
Pika finds a slam on the point and kills Irelia fourth. Pika retreating into the back line just to try to live there and try to get something going, marking out the Farah. Blackout Eclipse are converging on in like rabid wolves. But Asura regrouping in the back, waiting for Hairball to come back, and Hairball is back in, gets
Okay,
picked
Pika.
again. Pika
Get
finding a
nasty.
great slam onto Hairball. Dongwagger falling awfully low here. And we just see a lot of early picks come out here from Blackout. It seems like they really have found their footing here.
Yeah, and let's hope that's the case because Asura is coming up on ultimates again. And they're going to try to hope that they can snowball it like last time. Cupid, a little bit of a misplacement there, and Pika, well, there's the successful solo barrage there that time on the side of Asura.
Yes, Dongwagger finds Pikachu early fight, and the rest of Blackout are being collapsed on. Roadhog Style does pop this Emerald ult with the Nano, finds Dongwagger here, but Amatar does find Cupid for the troubles. Amatar also finds Sky J on the Ana. Pikachu is back, but just being bullied on point. Roadhog Style out of the ult and out of Nano. But Amatar pushes up to try to finish off Roadhog Style here once and for all. And Pika is still being bullied here. Pika awfully low, trying to retreat, trying to find something here. But Roadhog Style and Wiener Wizard find two picks. Baba out in the point here. Finishes off MSR Warrior, and it seems the Blackout has just stopped a full cap here.
Yeah, by the skin of their teeth in the last second. The Bob, very well placed, very clutch. Thankful that you could build it in time. MSR is going to be coming up on the Domino ult here. Try to get something done with that. Hopefully, maybe you just stick it onto the ball or whatever. And all you're going to have on the side of Blackout here is that window. Maybe you can try to get some sort of pick, but we're going to be in a fairly even ult exchange, but not even in numbers as we get another pick onto the Ana.
Yes, Cupid finds an early pick on the Koso. Pikachu just waiting around this doorway, but does find Dongwaggler, and Wiener Wizard does find Hairball. Things, and we do get a pause out here.
Who
All
DC'd?
right. Maybe someone DC'd, maybe someone had something. We will figure it out pretty soon once we get word from our prod on what has happened. But things are, there was a DC. We're getting word there is a DC in the server. But this seems to be really, really good. If you're on the side of Blackout, you finally found your footing in this series and in this map to stop a full cap from coming out. And you're finding these such great fights and keep finding so many good opening picks. It's just looking really good for Blackout. But Asura, they had all this momentum going for the start of the map, and they're looking to pick it back up again. Um, and we'll have to see what happens when our player comes back.
Yes.
Sorry, folks, had to take a little sip of water there. But yeah, I'm super excited to see how this attack will finish out for Asura. Whether it be a full cap or not, I think they had a really good attack. I'm sure they're feeling really, really good right now. They're throwing out some pretty interesting hero picks, but some we have seen in the past from different teams. The Symmetra coming out from Twisted Minds in the World Finals in 2025 on Kings Row. Same with the FAR, which Crazy Raccoons did in the same tournament in the World Finals 2025. But they also had a Farah Mercy, which I thought Astora would be going towards, but it seems like they did not. Um, but things quickly changed after the first point, and Pika. It seems like this Pika switch onto the wrecking ball is doing them wonders right now. and Cupid, of course, finding all these great picks with the Ash seems to be doing him justice, him and the rest of Blackout Eclipse justice. And it seems like Blackout are ready to turn the tide of the series, but Asura is hoping to shut that down rather quickly. Alrighty.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I might have died. I think I'm
Uh,
not dead anymore though.
that is very much okay.
Any word on who's DC'd though?
Any word? All right.
Oh,
So,
okay. One of the Asura players. Okay, well we'll wait for them to be back in here
uh,
at any moment.
sh-
Well, that's definitely going to affect them for this last fight. Was it the? Well, actually, was that the Ana player who
it
died?
was. It was the
Oh,
honor
okay.
player who died early. Maybe that has something to do with that. Maybe they lagged out and straight lined, and like their character straight lined, and it just led to an early pick. Um,
Yeah.
but it seems things seem to be going great. After Blackout, right now, you're finally finding this foothold. Uh, you feel like you're finally picking up steam here. Keep it with even with the first map, he was finding steam there, but it seems like he's finding a whole other light here. And same with the rest of the team with Pikachu picking up the wrecking ball so quickly here
Yeah.
in the match and to find many valuable picks.
I mean, it kind of seems like in a weird twist of fate that Blackout kind of turned what Asura was doing against them against themselves. With because now Pika is just demanding so much attention that they turn their heads away from Cupid or Roadhog style, and they're just getting their heads taken off. So nice to kind of see them flip the strategy there a little bit. But I also worry about Blackout's comp maybe having the same success on attack because Asura's composition, assuming they run the same thing on defense, is very, defensive. And obviously the reason Cupid, obviously he's hitting shots, but Ash works well when she has sight lines, and sight lines are made kind of automatically in your defense because the team's walking into you. It's going to be a lot harder to get those same sight lines when you're attacking because you kind of have to wait for someone to clear it, and then you can go up top and take a look. And so I worry a little bit that the composition on the side of Blackout might not be able to adapt as well on attack as Asura's attack composition will adapt to the defense. So only time will tell on how these things go. Obviously, they can probably change if they so wish. So we should be getting an update here soon on the player status. I know there is a rule about pauses, but we are streaming, so I'm not sure how that's going to play a role here. So, you know, um, I'm just not sure, you know,
Yeah.
where we're at. Kind of TBA.
That's the fun of casting and streaming these games is you never know what's going to be thrown at you, and you're always in the backseat for it. You're just waiting for it to take you on a ride. Um, but in return, you do get some pretty amazing Overwatch, especially this uh, playoff setting. It does bring you
Mhm.
some great stuff. A lot of hype, crazy moments. Especially with like things like Cupid taking over in that
Mhm.
first map. Even in the second map with the 5K.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, Cupid said that they'd be coming in this game with ill intentions. It hasn't
I did
looked
say that.
too ill too yet, but there is more time to make that happen. Another game that happened in our bracket was Aura Fury versus EMP. Now, this was a top seed in Group 1 versus kind of a bottom seed in Group 2, and Aura Fury actually came out on top in that match, and they're going to go on to play Dire Triggers, I think, this Saturday.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I'm kind of curious to see how that game goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, another game that we'll be looking at live in about 14 minutes or so is the UTD versus Fallen Vortex game. Again, the winner of that goes on to play Cosmic Eclipse this weekend as well. So, lots of good games. Make sure to check that out on CGL. I'm gonna see about us taking a small break real fast while we try to figure out what's going on with this player. So we'll be back in. Oh, unless I'm getting word from my prod right now. Okay, so it looks like the
Okay.
player cannot reconnect. So we are going to a 4v5 on the side of Asura. They're not able to get their player back in, unfortunately. Fortunately, these are just the rules. So they're choosing to play this out. So whenever they're ready, we're gonna be back in here in just a moment. It is quite unfortunate, especially because again, like I said, I do think that Asura's composition does favor them more on the defense, but unfortunately, if you're Blackout, this is kind of although you're doing well in the 5v5, this does kind of help your chances a little bit.
Exactly. Yep.
It's unfortunate though.
It is very, very, very unfortunate. I wish we were able to see the 5v5, but unfortunately, rules are in place for a reason. Um,
And we're
so
law-abiding citizens.
we are law-abiding citizens here. So I do think though Asura, with the way they've been playing though, could somehow squeak out this map, and
That would be
hopefully get
crazy.
Sokoso back here as we go come back from the unpause. As we come back to an Irelia death and maybe just a complete reset here as MSR comes on the map and
I mean,
we
that's
see
not
a
called
fight
yeah.
reset. 30 seconds left in the round, and Blackout Eclipse are holding this close. It could just be one fight here for Asura to take just to cap it. Um, and we shall see what they do. We see actually a May come out here from Dong Waggler to maybe just try to limit this ball's movement. Pikachu still hanging around this corner, hoping to strike pretty soon. This big slam coming out here on the side of Pika, finding Irelia really, really quickly, and your support falls there pretty early. Cupid finds double headshot kills, and it's looking all over for Asura on the attack. And Blackout get it done on defense.
Yeah, and obviously before the DC, they were definitely making that second point or third point hold very possible. Asura still did get a lot of done, and if they had that crazy tour strat on Lijiang, you can only imagine what they might pull out for next map. Because that sim rotation that they did on first point, while it was I don't want to say like predictable, but a lot of teams do it. It was well executed.
It
So,
was.
and Blackout, they thought they had it done because they just rotated, they flipped the map, and they still ended up losing. So, the sword was definitely ready for that moment.
Yeah, I did like the sim coming out because you don't see much sim play in CGL as much as you do say OWCS. So I think it's very cool to see what these Masters players can do with the sim. I think they can see this the field very good and see these openings and try to use sim to their advantage. We see Asura come back here on Diva, Bap, Bastion, and Torb. So maybe try to
Yeah,
make up for that fifth one with Torb turret here. Try to get that damage out of the fifth person here.
yeah,
On the side. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, pretty simple comp on the side of Blackout. I feel like this makes slightly more sense. Surely Cupid will probably swap a little bit if he's not able to find some success. Roadhog trying to stick on that Junkrat again. And Pikachu, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Get back on that wrecking ball.
Yep. So we see Roadhog style trying to take some space early here. Keep it rolling out of spawn, and Pika just trying to take the side angle here, trying to force out the Tor, but the Tor might be a little bit of a pain in the side on the side of Pikachu. We see the Bastion form coming out here from Hairball. Pika trying to get some rolling going, but Roadhog style does fall to MSR missiles. Keeper does take out the Torb turrets, maybe a little bit less pain now on the side of Blackout Eclipse. And Asura kind of being forced down here to the bottom left here. Pikachu finds a pick onto Irelia, but Hairball trades it right back. Hairball finding two here. Hairball finding three on this Bastion. Oh my goodness. Hairball said, I will take over the series myself if I have to. And
Yeah, I think this is a situation where Pika swapping off of the Wrecking Ball over to the Diva would actually kind of be called for, because MSR Warrior is going to need less resources from Aurelia to get things done, just because Diva is just kind of broken. That being said, we do see some dives going in indoors right now.
Yep. We see Pika just taking a lot of damage to this Torn turret. I really taking out the Torn turret pretty early. Winter Wizard, or sorry, the Emo Field, but Winter Wizard finds two onto Asura, and that
That's
might,
true.
but Hairball does find,
He's a
finds
menace.
another, oh my god, Hairball taking over here, but does fall due to, down, so Roadhog style. MSR Warrior, the last person on point, falls out of the mech, and that might be the map for Blackout. Sorry,
Or
not
at
the
least the
map.
point.
Sorry, the point. Excuse me. That might be the point here, falling uh, from Asura. But that
Yeah,
is a very good hold if you're
if
Asura.
Yeah, I mean that's more than you can ask for. Normally in these 45 situations, it's like a first fight over kind of thing, and they actually had more time on their attack starting out than Blackout does currently, which is kind of ridiculous. But Hairball again, if he keeps getting stuff done and going on those crazy angles, I mean, we might see a 2-0 lead here for Azora.
Yeah, I mean they're playing this super duper well. Pika just trying to find some early damage here. We do see the lava come out from here from Dongwing. They're trying to just cut off some angles here, trying to stop Blackout from walking. Roadhog style kind of cut off in this room here. Either has to go into lava or force or face the Diva. Facing the Diva in the 1v1 does fall very low and is able to get out in time. Asura just trying to hold out here, but Dongwing does fall to Pikachu here. Hairball quite very low here, but does fall to Cupid. Pikachu finding another pick onto Arbelia. Roadhogs and MSR just trying to die on point just to waste as much time as possible. And that's another fight win for Blackout.
Yeah, and now you got 5 ults, so hopefully they don't just dump all of it into this fight. In Asura they've got 2 ultimates, but I think the game plan is just to kind of take as much attention off of the Bastion as possible and just let them pump damage into them. And we'll see how that pays off as Cupid might look to try to get something done. Early nade out from Sky J, not really able to do much. We are going to see that window come out from Wiz.
Yeah, we're gonna see the window come out from Blitz. Trying to pressure the walk up here. I really does fall pretty early on the side of Asura. Hairball is next to fall. Dongwangler and MSR the last one to be on point. Dongwangler does fall and MSR gets out of mech, and it is another fight win. Team kill on the side of Blackout. Pikachu setting up really early here.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be setting up early. You still have the window from the side of Azora. You still have the Diva Bomb for the contest. The Blackout, they're up a player already. They've got all the momentum in their favor. It just feels like, they could probably get something done here. But, like I said, this point is the easiest point to snowball a good defense on, but not with a Nano in your backline. If he learns how to climb on a wall, hello?
Yeah, Roadhog style finding two here, but MSR Warrior just straight out Winter Wizard. In the process, Roadhog style finds another one. Asura being the last one, and that might be the map for Blackout Eclipse. But I do think there's one more touch actually coming out here from Asura. We still see same heroes. It seems to be MSR Warrior and Don Wiggler. Hairball does get slept here behind the window on the side of Asura, but popped of the annihilation, not the annihilation, the over. The protocol coming out here. Cupid does find.
There's so many old names. I mean,
Yeah.
you could just probably say one of them, and I would know which one you were talking about. But
Yeah.
a very strong start on this map from Asura comes to an anticlimactic end for Blackout Eclipse. But again, a win is a win on the board. Dong Waggler saying fun in the chat. Probably is not feeling happy about the rules there for CGL, but Cupid
Here
really
we
trying
go.
to make an MVP case. Here just doing something, doing something.
Very nice. Very nice. If you're Blackout, you will take that map for sure. You'll take
Yeah.
that with a side of candy. Um, but if you're sure there's brighter things to look at here, you can get Sakoso back in the lobby here, and you do have a map pick out here in your first ban. So if you're Asura, you have the world is basically yours right now. You can get this momentum back in your favor. Um, you can bring it to whatever map you like and get Sakoso back. You can ban whoever you like.
Mhm.
The world is completely yours. But it is a great
Yeah.
win there for Blackout. Just find your footing in the series. Find something to get done in the series. So
Yeah.
Great.
Um, I am, obviously, if you're Blackout, you're glad that you're able to get this tied to a 1-1 scoreline. But this could go to 5. We could see a map 5 banger here. Sora look, um, I don't know. I feel like much improved. Maybe not necessarily. I feel like they kind of figured out during the break in between that they might not be as good in these meta comps or in these mirror matchups. So they got to run weird things to keep their opponent on their toes. And if you're good at those comps and if you're able to practice them, then why not? Why not run
Exactly.
them? Yeah, hopefully you're able to get your player back in here. Not sure what the status on that is, or if they have the substitute that they can put in. Obviously, we will find out in due time as they come up on their map pick. And just for the record, there is not a particular order. They could pick escort, they could pick flashpoint, they could pick push. It does not matter the order. And I think if you're a Sora, you kind of have two choices. You can try to get the momentum back in your favor now and go to a map like Flashpoint and maybe like ban the honor or something and run the Malga, or run a different comp or something. Or you could try to save that Flashpoint in case you do go to like a map 5, and maybe pick an escort because yeah, they did lose that map, but before they DC'd, it was relatively close.
It was.
They were still making stuff happen. They were probably going to get held anyway, I would imagine, with how well they were playing. But there's no telling what you could have done on defense there had you had a full 5.
Exactly. Yes, and if I'm Asura here, I think I might try to go a flashpoint here, maybe Surabasa or even an Atlas, just something that you can try to maybe enable that Amalgam for. But um, we will see what they do decide to pick. But my thinking is, you try to, get the momentum back in your favor here early, especially after such a frustrating loss there. And we do see a flashpoint come out here from Asura. We go heading to Surabasa, which I do think is a very good pick for them.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't enable that, um, that the Amalga for you. But also, if you're Blackout, you do have the Ram back on the table. You do have a lot of things back on the table here. You have your Lucio. You have just about any tool you need to win this. So maybe you do ban out the ball here if you're Asura.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I like this pick. They're trying to get momentum back as soon as they can. After an unfortunate map like that, you do not want to tilt. You want to get back to what you're familiar with. So, wouldn't be surprised to see the Malga. Wouldn't even be surprised to see the Hazard here. Depending on what Asura bans, if you're Blackout, this could be an opportunity for that Malga ban. And then you could maybe run the Shoreline on the Ramatra. Well, we'll have to see what Asura. Oh my gosh, I got the yawns. Decide to come out on. Um, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't even want to guess, Alpine. I don't even want to guess because I'm going to say something. I'm going to think that I haven't figured out, and they're going to come out on like Winston, Cat, Farah, or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
just something completely ridiculous. Yeah, I'm convinced
Yeah.
that they probably have like a random hero generator, and they're just spinning it, and whatever it lands on, they're just
They'll be
playing to
running.
drag this thing. Um, and if you're that confident in yourself, then you should be. That'd be amazing. Imagine if they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh man, we had to play Torba map 1. We spun it, and then you win, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe the Torba's not bad."
Yeah,
Um,
maybe we're living in like some weird alternate version of Groundhog Day where, we see sort of maybe on a weird comp and we say something, we question it, and then they prove us wrong immediately by playing it super duper well. Um, but it is working in their favor here. They are gaining the momentum against Blackout up until that DC. Um, so we'll have to see what Asura decides to ban here. Uh, and
yeah,
hopefully Sikoso can get back to the lobby for the team. Um, you know, okay, we're getting word from Prod that Sikoso is back in, so we'll be going back to a full 5v5. Very good to hear. Very exciting to hear.
I mean, and that's what the fans want to see, right? We want to see 4v5 BS, bro. Make it as competitive as it can be. That's what I want to see. I want to see a good game. I want to. I mean, I do want this to go to map 5, and I don't want this to go to map 5 because yeah, I want to watch. Never mind. I shouldn't say this, but
Tisk,
yeah,
tisk.
yeah, tisk, indeed. But um, this is an interesting ban considering what map we're going to.
Yeah.
The Baptiste. This might be the first questionable ban to me.
Yeah, might be a little bit questionable, considering it's a kind of a bigger map. You want to move around speedy, and map just can't exactly do that. So maybe you're trying to force Blackout into a carry here, or something of that sorts.
Yeah, I feel like Asura has been very strategical with their bans. They have been, and there's the Maga ban. I mean,
There
that
it
was so
is.
quick; it was almost instant. They didn't hesitate, and that makes sense to me. And again, Asura, they're probably going to spin their wheel to see what they're going to run this next map. But it feels like Asura's been very particular with their bans. They haven't been targeting, Cupid on the hit scan. They haven't been targeting, uh, a lot of the flex DPS. They've been going for like bans that I feel like at first kind of made sense or didn't really make sense, but like the Lucio ban was kind of targeting Wiz. And we're going to see the same lineup from Blackout here, which makes sense to me. Sura could be very brawly or it could be very divey. Blackout doesn't feel like they're going to get a lot done on the brawl here, so they want to keep to the dive. And that makes sense. You know, Curious to see what Roadhog style runs. Yeah, see what they got going on there. I would imagine we'd probably see the same lineup from Asura as well. But again, just feels like Asura's being very particular about their bans. It feels like they're anticipating this game going to a map 5, and they really just want to hold on to like a big target ban for then. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you know, I, I'm very excited to see what these players on the side of Blackout will run. Especially with Pico. I think Pico will probably run the wrecking ball again because it did work so well before. But Roadhog style, it is. I agree. A little more questioning of like what will he run. I could see a Vendetta come out here on the side of Blackout. And of course, I think it would just be a standard Kiri Lucio backline, and Cupid will run whatever he pleases. Um, because
Cupid will
it
run
is
whatever it
Cupid.
is. I mean, yeah, we could see the guy probably come out on Tracer and he'd somehow get a 5K or something. I mean, that's just kind of the standard he's set for himself at this point. So
It
um,
is.
I want to be surprised, but I'm more curious to kind of see what Asura runs here because now that Malga's banned, you might want to look to run that Hazard, and we are going to see a swap come in on the side of Asura. Yeezus is going to be
Jesus.
coming on, and I was mistaken. I thought that was a famous album by a certain rap artist, but I guess no, it is a
Oh,
support player in CGL Masters tier.
it is. Actually, Jesus did lead the league, I believe, in week 4 of most kills per 10.
Oh,
Um,
oh
so that's
my
how I
lord.
know his
Okay.
name. Yeah, that's how I know his name. But he was a DPS player. So I think they were trying to flex. Okay, so
Oh, okay, there we go.
now we have double Dong Waggler, though.
Don Wackler is going to support, and Yeezus is going to DPS. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
y'all ain't
very
ready.
yeah, very excited to see what Asura does here, with the cloned Dong Waggler here. Um, excited to see what will happen here. Um,
I mean,
you know,
I've known. Wait a minute, DPS and support?
you
So did
just noticed
Hairball
that?
go out? No, yeah, I didn't. He's playing two roles, guys. Our prod hopefully will fix that soon. I would assume it's going to be Hairball and Yeezus, and then
Yeah,
Don Wagler's playing support. And as long as I've known, like, because Don Wagler trialed for one of our teams at some point for tank, very flexible. Okay, what the flip? So Hairball is playing support. I mean,
yeah,
okay, that's it. That's the final lineup. No more changes. That's what it is. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe Hairball's their Lucio player. Maybe he's got some in him. Who knows?
yeah.
We haven't seen him play Lucio yet.
We shall see what Hairball will run. Especially considering Hairball is a hit scan, you might see maybe an Alari here. I could see that come out on the side of Asura.
I'm gonna be
Especially considering,
surprised. Spin the wheel, bro.
yeah,
Spin
spin
it.
the wheel, spin it. And Blackout probably gonna run a very standard, maybe divey brawl comp with the wrecking ball there. But all will be revealed in 8 seconds.
Swap Cupid out for me and let a real man carry. What? um.
Alrighty.
Okay, so far this seems like the most standard comp that Asura has run all series long. So,
Yeah, very. It seems very standard here. Hairball on the Lucio here. Seems like just a very, very standard comp here. I thought that Asura was going to take a page out of Zeta Division's book there and try to run something similar to them. Dongwaggler actually, uh,
what is going on in chat? I want to see my
yeah,
feed. What are they
yeah.
talking?
Okay, so the chat is going rather insane right now. A very, very interesting things are happening in the chat right now. As we see both teams rolling out here onto point.
Yeah, very curious to see if Asora's just gonna kind of try to run it down on Cupid, because we are running like again, Blackout's comp does not necessarily make a lot of sense to me, but neither does Asura. And screw it, Junkrat killed the Torb to start the fight. I mean, he's
Yeah.
in the back line. Yeah, why not?
Yep, and Dogwaller is found early on the side of Asura, but Asura does find the first cap here. Jesus does get a pick on the Roadhog style. MSR rather really low here on point, trying to play a corner here, trying to just force Blackout to stay back. Pikachu rolling through the point here, slamming straight on the hairball. Hairball falls, but MSR does find Sky J here on the point. Cupid does fall to MSR Warrior. Pikachu finding another pick on Irelia. Both support players for side of Asura are down, but Asura does still have his cap Roadhog style take down the first on the side of Asura. Jesus falling very low, does fall to Roadhog style, but MSR and Dongwaggler find their respective picks, and if you're Blackout, you have to retreat at this point and try to regroup.
Yeah, they're Blackout's trying to run a really high, I would say a kind of high paced dive comp, but you have two brawl DPS, so like the sustain from Asura. I mean, MSR didn't really have to do a lot. He just sat on point to get some stuff done. So if Pika and Cupid don't kill like 17 in a row, then there's not really going to be a one fight because of the sustain. And we're already seeing a bunch of people just jump onto Cupid because he doesn't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah, Cupid falling rather early due to from Hairball. Roadhog style finds two. MSR Warrior does
Three.
Down, three from Roadhog style, four for Roadhog style. Pikachu does take a kill there on MSR Warrior. Dongwaggler still alive, trying to retreat, but is probably going to get staggered here. Pikachu finding the kill, and Asura finally has to reset, but taking 99% on that point there.
Yeah, and also you said it earlier, but it wasn't on my bingo card to hear the sentence that Yeezus killed Roadhog style in the same sentence. That just wasn't something I was anticipating hearing tonight. I just don't like the Cassidy pick on the side of Blackout. It just feels like Asura can just jump on you, especially with Hairball on that Lucio. But it looks like Pika setting up for an early mines here on the engage.
Yeah, and Roadhog style keeps doing things here on this first point to keep Blackout in. It finds an early pick on the Dongwaggler on the Torb. Roadhog style still acting like a little rat down here. Just poking at Blackout poking at Asura from far, but Cupid falling rather low here, trying to get healed up. Does get recovered. Pikachu still trying to find a little bit of disruption here in the Asura line. He's just taking out a tire. It does pop the Emery ultimate.
Oh, huge speed!
Huge speed comes out here from Winter Wizard. Cupid still falls from extremely low. Really low here. This is also really low. Winter Wizard boops Eastus to death. Cupid finding a health pack very nearby. This is the last fight on point here. Dongwaggler does let lava all over the point here. Irelia finds a point onto Sky J. Roadhog style finding another pick on Irelia. Dongwaggler burns taking to death. Cupid falls really early here. Roadhog style only one on point. And the cap goes inside of Asura, and that looks like a first point would be on the side of Asura.
I mean, everything that Asura is doing is to play for point. They don't want to play to go get kills on an off angle, or they are simply just playing to control the point and to have the best point presence that they possibly can. Whereas Blackout, they want to come in from different angles. They want to catch you on the engage, but it's hard to catch anyone on the rotation or the engage when everybody's in the same place. It's going to be really hard to get any kills, so displacement's going to be a very hard task. And I mean, Pika's trying to do his best and get MSR low, but Yeez is going to get a kill onto Cupid. Might get traded out here, and it is, but a lot of people are low on the side of Blackout.
Yeah, I do like this Cupid swap on Sojourn. I feel like a lot more mobility. As you see the point unlocked, Pika's just trying to get some disruption. The huge slam onto the backline finds Irelia. Cupid comes back, and Dongwalker falling extremely low there, but Pika does get traded out. Dongwalker does fall eventually here. I'm sorry, Warrior making his perfect dunk here on point. Pops the ult, finds, does find Roadhog style. Cupid trading it back here on the M right. Huge, oh my god, Cupid with 3 to flip point back onto Asura.
You know, I have to tell you because you know Cupid is my brother. He's been coming in my room the last few days and showing me the intro for the I guess incoming montage of this game. So he's trying to get as many he's clip farming. I mean, he's just trying to get as many clips as he can right now. You're playing for your life in playoffs, and he's just clip farming. So, but on a serious note, I mean, again, we're just seeing these two different styles of play clash in such a unique way. And I mean, I kind of talked about it a little bit in the pregame. And, you know, he uses on a early pick.
Really early pick comes out here from Yeezus, but Pikachu does trade it back onto Hairball. I'm sorry, we're trying to find his way back on the point here, but the mines are in the way. A big beat comes out here from Wizard Wiener to clean the point. Pikachu does clean up everything. Rotom style pops the tire. And wow, just beat crimes Hairballs there.
Valid though.
Jesus does fall, and Blackout are just fully taking it over, but Asura does get a flip here. That might not mean much here, as it is just so close to the end, and Asura did die so late there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get the touch here. I think they're going to give it up. Huge pick from SkyJ onto Yeezus. And that was actually a really huge fight for Blackout because a lot of the, you know, the big ultimates to control point from the side of Asura were used. You know, you still have your Lucio beat and you still have your Kasune, which is arguably, you know, some of the best support ultimates in the game right now. So, you know, you're not too mad at that loss. MSR probably going to have his ult by the end of the game. But we really need to talk about how much this Torp turret's doing. Okay, well, as I say that, it gets blown up, but there's just so many fights where I'm sitting here like, is someone gonna shoot the turret? But
yeah. Roadhog style here on a flank could be massive for them. Pika, along with it, trying to find anything, but just versus Asura, Irelia falling extremely low there, but does pop the unit. He just finds Roadhog style, and a beat coming out from Hairball to clean up the fight here. Blackout falling awfully low, and all of them getting beat up here. I can see a little bit of a stalemate on point here. Pika actually living extremely long here. If you're sure, you have to kill Pika really fast here. And oh, what a spear out from MSR Warrior. Wow, what an amazing spear from MSR
that's nasty.
Warrior.
I mean, you can't even be mad. That's Simina. Put it in the Taj, bro.
Yeah.
Now, the silver lining for Blackout there is that you did get both support ults out, but, you know, those support ults out come just in time for Asura to have their big 3 in terms of ultimates coming up. So, obviously, you do have the mines, you do have, you know, well, it might not matter. SkyJ just keeps hitting shots. I mean, he seems to be, you know, picking it up as the series goes on.
Yes, I agree. And Pikachu, oh my, just dunking on these players like LeBron or something.
Oh my god!
He just keeps finding these picks. Oh my goodness, Pikachu just keeps finding picks left and right, just being a big nuisance on this ball. And if you're sure, you might be regretting not banning the ball out here. Roadhog style flies over point. Pikachu finds another pick. Roadhog style also finds pick. Oh my god, Roadhog style and Pikachu moving like LeBron and Wade right now. I think
Kobe and Shaq, Magic and Johnson. Wait, hold on. What's it? Magic? No, Magic and Bird. Magic and Bird. There we go. Anyway. You still have plenty of ultimates on the side of Asura, though. And we're going to see the Cupid swap to Ash, which, you know, it does make sense. But again, the issue isn't that you're not getting picks. The issue is that you're getting run down. You need to play something that you do not get run down on. And these mines might prove to be a problem. Huge boot from Wiz to try to get some impact damage. But you're kind of in a really sticky situation if you're Dong Lag. But the mines are going to prevent them from chasing.
Yeah, the Pikachu mines do prevent a little bit of chasing there, but Blackout Eclipse falling back, trying to just get some poke out here, trying to find a little bit of an opening here, trying to let their Cupid build up something here, trying to find an opening pick. MSR Warrior does pressure point down here. Rotocell in the back, trying to find some poke out here. And actually, Dumbledore does put it out with the lava on the point. MSR Warrior finding Cupid, but this tire could be huge. Could find Yeezus. Yeezus does fall to the tire, but Hairball finds Pikachu. And there's your sleep paralysis even falling if you're a Asura there. And
yeah, and Blackout, they are gonna get out of the fight, but Asura just coming out on so many ultimates, it just doesn't know if I don't know if it matters. Yeah, Roadhog style doesn't have to get the touch because Pika's gonna have it, but And again, the buttons and an early pick onto SkyJ. It might just not even matter. I mean, huge
Nope.
beat, but
Huge beat, enough to save the other the person inside of the ult. But MSR Warrior does find Cupid, but Pikachu does trade it out on the hairball, uses in up in the air, high above anywhere where Roadhog can get them. Oh my goodness, Roadhog, I am so sorry. Pikachu and Roadhog are finding picks here. Dongwag are just trying to find something, trying to get things done here on point. Pikachu really, really low here. You have to finish off Pika if you are Asura. SkyJ falling awfully low. Here comes the beat out from hairball. MSR does find SkyJ, and that's huge. Keep it back on the soldier. Pikachu falling down to MSR Warrior, and wow. MSR Warrior just finding 3 there to clean it all up, and you 2-1 up in this game.
I see why Sora speaks up on MSR, but I mean that's the biggest issue with this comp. If you don't kill the players around the Orisa soon enough, the Orisa is just going to be able to live and just pump and pump and pump into pump damage into the other team. And so now we're going to see the soldier swap from Cuba just really trying to find some sort of answer, some sort of footing, feeling like he's not able to do enough for his team here. Good boop from the side of Airball to try to get something done, but again, Pika, he's just trying to take the series into his hands, man.
He is. He's trying to find some valuable picks here, trying to find some valuable space to take. Asura do take the first cap, and here comes Mines onto point from Blackout. Allows him to move in a little bit. Does split up Asura a little bit, but Jesus does find Cupid very, very early here. Jesus maybe is finding an answer here, just trying to shut down Cupid. Taking over the series. MSR Warrior does find SkyJ pretty early here. Pikachu falling extremely low, just trying to hide, dies to the lava of orb.
And this is great, but I just want someone to shoot the Torb turret.
Yeah.
The Torb turret was sitting on point for literally 10 and a half business days, and nobody did anything. So now we're finally going to see a Diva swap, off of the ball, and I think this is pretty good. You're able to deal with a lot more sustain, but with 60% on the board for the side of Asura, is it even going to matter?
Yeah, I mean, if you're sorry, you're gonna hold on to this, and as we say that, hairball does fall, but Jesus does find it back. B comes out for winner wizard, only hitting 2 though, only hitting Roadhog style, but it doesn't matter because Roadhog style does find Yeast anyways. An ult comes out from MSR Warrior, but he dies before he can pop it. Pikachu finding 3 to end this fight. Oh my goodness.
But now we're coming into and I mean, Roadhog style has been doing God's work on the Junkrat. I mean, he killed an ulting Imre in midair, and he just did it again. But now the issue is Asura's coming up on 3 big ultimates. Again, every single ultimate for Asura, especially when it comes to this map, it could be, game changing. And you have your back against the wall. It's 98. We see the tire come out, try to get something done, see if it can find anyone in the crossfire. It's going to get taken out, but Pika finding an early pick onto the Curie could buy them some time here.
Yeah, to buy them some very valuable time. Blackout just trying to play this a little bit slow, trying to waste time down here, keep it falling very low into point. And if you're Sir, you really have to go fast. You have to make advantage of these ults that you have here. You have double support ults here. You just have to brute force down before Blackout can get their ults back. We just see 3 ults here on the side of Blackout, and Roadhog style finds another opening pick. It's just a Pika and Roadhog style where we look at another great spear coming out from MSR Warrior. This guy with his spears. Oh my goodness, it's amazing to see. Asura trying to make their points up with
oh my.
But MSR does fall, doesn't get the beat in time. And Cupid does pop the ults here, trying to find something. Dongwag does fall pretty early there. And it's 2-2 here, but you did pop a lot if you're on the side of Blackout. You did pop all 3 of your ults there. But if you're Sora, you did pop both support ults, so there's maybe a long equivalent.
That is a silver lining, and it did take a Pikachu Diva Bomb, but the Torb turret went down. So
hey, there we go.
That's a good thing. And I got to give some credit to Dong Wagler. His placement on the Torb turret has been, quite impactful. But we're already in another fight, Alpine. I tried to give you a couple seconds to breathe, but you got to go ahead and do your thing.
I know. Dong Wagler finding this, trying to get this nice right angle going here. Can't find much, gets forced out here. And if actually Dong Wagler gets found really early by Cupid. Here we go. Cupid finding 2 here, finding 3 here, and Pikachu finding and adding on to this. Oh my goodness, it was a very, very quick fight there for a Blackout, and that's a really good for if you're a Blackout, getting the early picks here.
That's a good stagger.
Very late. That's a really good stagger if you're a Blackout Eclipse. Just play that fight perfectly.
Yeah, that was a very good pinch from the side of Blackout. They sent their Lucio and their Soldier on an off angle while Pika and Skyjay set up a main threat. I don't know if Roadhog style knows that the Iris is there or not. Okay. They're a little. He's got some good distance, but Asura coming up on three good ultimates. You got the Molten Core, you've got the Protocol, you've got the Terror Surge, so you've got some good stuff coming up. And Blackout does have some decent responses, but they might just get an early pick again, so it might not even matter.
Yeah, that was a little scary there. Asura almost got bumped off through the boosters. The Donglager letting all the lava onto the point there, and the MSR Warrior ult. We see Jesus also popping his ult, and it just looks like it will be a dominant fight here from Asura, just brute forcing with all the ults they had. But it is going to be 80% here on the point for Blackout, so it is very dangerous if
Yeah.
you're Asura. You have to play this
Yeah,
perfectly.
and then that last second touch from Roadhog style was actually a really good play because that's going to put this in a single fight territory. And you have two ultimates coming up, but if Blackout goes fast enough, it might not matter. Hopefully they see the Torb turret and they don't peek the Torb who's just spamming down. They do see it, but they're not shooting it.
No, they're not shooting it very much. Roadhog style does see it.
Finally,
finally take
there
it
we
down.
go.
All right, Asura just trying to take this this very defensive hold onto point, waiting for Blackout Eclipse to approach them. We do see
Blackout
a lot of
has all five ults.
yeah,
They could
all
just press a
five.
button if they wanted.
I was about to bring that up there. Blackout Eclipse does have all 5 ults here. Roadhog style just trying to find this on NWC in an exchange of both portals coming out from both teams. Hairball does fall very early to Wiener Wizard. The Junkrat tire coming out here, and a lot of picks coming out on the side of Blackout Eclipse, and it looks like they will take this map in dominant fashion.
Well,
Right,
MSR did get out with a sliver of HP. It does look like
yes.
Cupid's trying to chase that. That could cost him his life here, but I don't think it's going to matter because they're not going to get the touch. And Blackout going to take a 2-1 lead here, but in quite dramatic fashion, not as dominant as they would hope.
Yeah, they went down 2-1. You had to clutch it back up there. If you're a Blackout, and maybe you're starting to sweat a little bit if you are Blackout. Maybe you do want to try to ban this core because it seems to be a pain on your side here. Or if you're maybe a story, you're trying to ban out either that ball or that Junkrat. A very very good, a very good fight from Asura, especially with their DPS player on support. You know,
Yeah, for sure. Now, if you're a Sora back against the wall, where do you want to go? I mean, what do you want to do? Could see a lot of different responses, perchancedly.
yeah.
But I just don't know, what map you really want to go to here.
Yeah, I mean, you can take them to either push or you can take them to escort. Of course, Blackout does have a very good record here on push. Especially with their week 8 performance against Diamond Eagles. Cupid just took over in that game. And you're hoping if you get taken there to a push map that Cupid can repeat history and just take over again. Or you could go to an escort map and maybe try to find a longer angled and try to get MSR Warrior back on that Malga now that it is free and open for you to play.
Hmm. I mean, I'm not sure. And this might be the moment where the ball ban comes out. But Pika on the Diva looked good. It almost makes me wonder why they didn't run the Diva sooner. Obviously, they tried to run it on King's Row, but between the Domina beam and the the Domino beam and the Symmetra beam, you couldn't get as much done as you were hoping to, chancibly. So I can kind of see the intention there with, wanting to run the ball instead. But now your back's against the wall. Make a good ban, and you can, force them at 5 here, or make the wrong ban, and you're going to the losers bracket.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where Asura will take us and what they will ban. Uh, I'm hoping we get to see a map 5 tonight. I think it would be a really, really good storyline for both teams. And maybe bring Asura out of these, these rumors that they were frauds early in the season. And I do think they're proving tonight that they are not the frauds everyone thinks they are. They are proving that
Hmm.
they are big enough to tussle with the big guys like they were in the beginning of the season. Um, so I'm very
Yes. So our prod did bring it up, but I was just about to say that for those who are not tuned in, uh, Fallen Vortex is up one versus UTD in their wow, sorry, in their series. It does look like that Fallen is up, yeah, 2-0. They won map 1 2-0. So looking pretty looking in pretty good form there.
very excited, and of course CGL is streaming that match. Um, so that's happening there, and we're here hoping for a map 5 between this Blackout, Eclipse, and Asura game. It's a very, very exciting series, so I wouldn't go anywhere. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
At first, I think when we were doing the podcast, Ray from CGL, who schedules their streams, asked us what we thought a better stream game would be. If we thought it would be UTD versus Fallen, or if we thought it would be Blackout versus Asura. And I thought that the UTD Fallen game would be better. But it does look like, again, in playoffs, everyone is 0-0. So, it doesn't really matter what your record is. If you make the playoffs, you can make something happen. So, and if you're a Sura, you definitely need to make something happen here. Because again, you lose one more map, you're in that losers bracket, and you want to try to be in the winners for as long as you can.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the fact that you brought up that everyone is 0-0, especially since everyone in these this winners bracket round one is from different groups. So technically, it really does feel like everyone's 0-0. You haven't played these guys before, really. But in the case of Blackout and the Story, you have played each other in midseason, and we do see the map pick come out here. We actually see a Havana come out on the side of Asura, and I do like this pick from them. You can bring Hairball back onto the DPS line to play double hit scan. Um, and
Yeah,
you come
and
here.
and maybe well, they had Hairball in the maybe it's because Hairball's their Lucio player, but also their Ana player could still be having Wi-Fi issues, but now you have a particular choice. You have a peculiar choice. Do you want to ban the ball here? I think this is actually an excellent pick because I don't feel like you need to ban the ball here. There's such long sight lines that Pika might have quite the hard time running ball here. That's if they even keep him in. So I would assume that this is their map to kind of pick on Cupid here. Either
Yep,
ban the Ash or ban the Widow or something. Try to make it, try to make him play into what they want to do. Because out of the three maps we've had so far, Suravasta was definitely not his strongest.
I agree. He did pick it up towards the end there, but in the start of the map, he was struggling, but started to find his footing there on that Emery. And of course, we were before this, we were saying his Emery looked a little um, not as great as his other hit scans, but it seems to be he's proving the notions wrong right now, as he did find a great success on that last map. But yeah, I do agree. I think this might be the map where you try to target Cupid, maybe an Ash ban here. But you do Asura does ban. Oh, we actually see a double ban come out here immediately, as
The Sig
Asura
ban
does.
comes out.
Yeah, a sig ban comes out on the side of Asura, and Blackout Eclipse bans the Emray.
So, Silver probably feels like their hit scans can keep up with Cupid, and I definitely don't blame them. Their hit scans have had such bright moments throughout the series. So instead, maybe they think that Pika has a sig on him, or maybe Shura has a sig on him, and they probably want to play the Domina here.
Mm,
Or Sig is also a decent counter into the Malga. I've seen crazier things from this team. Maybe they pull the Malga out on Havana and they try to spawn hold or
yeah,
something. Um, and so they kind of want to just take that off the board while they can, while also still having options for MSR who might not be as confident on the SIG as someone else here. The Emre ban though, that makes sense. You want to force them into Cupid's more
his
preferred.
wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean that's a good ban for sure.
It is a really great brand, and I'm excited to see what the substitutes are looking like here. I think maybe Blackout could see, bring Shoreline back into the mix here, as this is a pretty good Ram map. Or you can have Shoreline play the Domina. Um, it feels like a map to bring Shoreline back if you really wanted to. Especially since the tank heroes that do well here are in his wheelhouse. And we will go into substitutes. And Pikachu will actually stay in here, but we will have Leo Leopard come back in for Roadhog.
Style.
And we do see Skyjay stay in there. As we go back, and we see Sakoso coming back into the game, back from the Wi-Fi issues, but we do see Dong Wagler staying onto the DPS, and Hairball also staying on. Um, I'm actually surprised that when we don't see Yeezus here, because I feel like he did especially really good on our last map. I felt like he found a lot of opening picks against Cupid. Um,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he definitely did his thing. But we're kind of back to our map one lineups. Makes sense. You won the first map on it. You might want to just keep it. I think Blackout might just run the diva here. You might be feeling it. And yeah, no surprises here.
yep,
This makes sense to me.
it does make sense to me too. It looks like maybe MSR is going to favor this Orisa, which MSR did really really well on the Orisa last match, especially those ridiculous spears. Oh my goodness! I mean, you would think that guy's training in the woods somewhere, just practicing the spears all the time. And we do see a
Uh,
pause come out here, and I'm a little bit worried because Sakoso hasn't picked their character yet, and I believe I did see someone DC'd before we left. Hopefully
I
Sakoso.
wonder if since the lobby doors haven't opened yet, I think the rule is that both teams can agree to restart the map if they'd like to. So hopefully we don't have to go to a 4v5 because that'd be kind of a bummer into the series. And honestly, if I'm Blackout, I think I would agree to going to reset. I mean, you didn't even come out of spawn doors yet. Also, Cupid could add to the montage if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
could add to the montage.
Could add to the montage. MSR could add to the montage. There's a lot of good opportunities for them to do a lot of things, assuming they continue. But they could also just be having some regular Wi-Fi issues, and they might just need a pause.
Yeah. But yeah, we got maybe a little glimpse at the comps there to begin with, and of course that could change if maybe say Sakosa if Sakosa DC'd again. Things could change around there for comps, but what we did see was MSR, of course, on the Orisa, like we said, and Pikachu on the Diva, um, which I think is a really good play on Havana. You're able to sit low ground and then get to the short little burst of high grounds every so often. Um, I did not get a good look at the DPS lines before we went here into the break. I would imagine it's a double hit scan for both teams. Maybe for Leo, and we see Xana come in on support instead of Sakoso. So it looks like we'll be restarting this map here.
Yeah, and that's I don't want to say that's the right play from Blackout, but I mean, come on, you didn't even start the map yet. There's no reason to force them into a 4v5. So glad to see that Asura can play. Maybe not necessarily at full strength, but definitely with 5 players here.
I'm Yes, I'm very excited to see that we have 5 players in the lobby. Very very happy to see it. Um, yeah, and as we head back into match here.
Yeah, but I'm sure we're probably going to see the same comp from Blackout. Asura is probably not sure what they're going to be running. I did see MSR toggling the Orisa.
Yeah,
The rest of it's kind of unsure to me. Moria. Maybe they're just
uh,
trolling. Maybe they're just trolling,
uh,
but
I do know
creative.
Xana is. I do know Xana likes to play the Moira every so often and whatnot. They do like to play that. They do favor that Moira. When I played them on Z2O, Xana did like to play the Moira, so I could see this being a very an actual pick for them. And we see Don Wagler, and we're gonna see a double sniper from Asura, which is really good on these long sight lines. Leo Leopard is looking to favor that Genji, and we see a Weeing on the side of Blackout with Wiener Wizard there. Um, so,
That makes sense to me. You're kind of running like a pretty stable backline double flex. Airball going to see if he can get anything on that Widow, taking a few pop shots, but the Ash is going to be some better consistent damage, I would say, compared to the Widow, which is kind of burst headshots.
yep. And Don Walker actually finds an opening pick onto Cupid. That's a very, very good pick for Asura. You know, takes down the only skin in the lobby there. Can't really poke out long angles now. As Leo Leopard is and the rest of the Blackout are looking to retreat, trying to get their people back. Cupid does make that switch on the Widow, trying to get something done here. Pikachu holding this corner here as Asura just moves in.
Yeah, and Don Wagler gonna kill Cupid again
Oh my
on that
goodness.
Honda. Cupid trying to change to the Widow. Cupid's got to give respect. Respect is due. Nice shots in the chat.
Yep.
Pika is going to get very low here as they disengage him, and it's really hard to fight. A fight like this, 4v5, let alone 4v3.
Yeah, and this looks like it's just gonna be a very, very fast cap on the side of Blackout. Or sorry, Asura. I apologize. And Asura and Blackout is on the run right now, just trying to make multiple swaps, trying to figure things out right now, trying to figure out what's gonna work against it right now. Especially since Dong Wagler just seems to find a pick every single fight here, on this Hanzo, and it seems like this is a very good week for oppressive Hanzo play on Havana.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is feeling very similar to kind of what happened on King's Row.
Yeah,
5 minutes on the first point. Asura looking to try to get something done. Pikachu deciding to get off of that Diva and just go on to the Orisa, and that makes sense. Especially when you do stuff like that.
yeah, finding the
Cupid
pick.
doesn't have to worry anymore.
Yeah, and now you get rid of the sleep paralysis demon that is Dong Wagler if you're Blackout. Pikachu being bullied here on the Orisa. Avatar walks him down. Irelia finds the kill onto Pikachu. Avatar once more. He's hungry for this. Kill takes Cupid down as well. And it's just a very. It seems like Blackout just can't find a stop to this right now. I mean, if you're Blackout here, you have to stop it right now to try to get back into this. Xana healing the MSR warrior as fast as possible. Dong Wagler trying to use the dragon to stop the fight, try to stop a touch here. For Blackout, you just have to fall back and try to count what you have.
Yeah, and Cupid has not reached above 30% on his ultimate at all until just now. He hasn't even been anywhere close. Don Wagler could potentially, lap him here. Sora looking to press forward very quickly with the ultimates that they have. Pikachu getting all the care in the world and some more, but a nice javelin or spear is going to knock him back to temporarily, settle the score here. But Cupid getting the pick onto the Moria. I mean, this is just non-stop back and forth action.
Yeah, I mean, as you see, an exchange of Orisa ults. MSR is forced out into the open. Dong Wagler are extremely low. Cupid does find the pick onto Irelia, and Blackout seeming to repeat King's Row here as they're trying to find their foothold onto this. But Dong Wagler finds a trade on the Wiener Wizard. Maybe the fight isn't too over yet, and as I say that, Dong Wagler does fall. Hairball switching to this. Or no, sorry, it's been on a soldier. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think it's a good fight if you're Asura. You do get out a lot of ults on the side of Blackout.
Again, I am getting some massive deja vu from King's Row because again the sight lines here on the defense are going to heavily favor the Ashe, and Leo Leopard up top looking to get something done with his blade. As ultimates don't really seem to be coming out. I say that as Hairball does drop the visor up top, trying to get something done. Bob came out, but it's quickly gone.
Quickly gone indeed, and it seems like this maybe could be a last fight of territory as Dong Wagler does find a trade on the Skyjay, but Cupid is looking to take over right now. Xana does find a pick on the Pikachu with the orb. Dong Wagler trying to go up top, trying to find anything. Does pop the dragon. MSR Warrior does find Wiener Wizard. Dong Wagler does get a pick onto Leo Leopard. This could be a Xana does fall off the map though, and Cupid just trying to get away, trying to get away from the demon that is MSR Warrior. MSR Warrior does just take down 2 there. And Blackout Eclipse are just trying to find anything, trying to stop this push right now. Pika trying to full rush and Leo Leopard on the pinch. Asura trying to heal up MSR Warrior, trying to get back into the fight here. MSR Warrior pushing, using the ults, and Cupid finds a pick onto Xana really, really early. And if you're a Asura, you have to back up here. And we just see 2 ults come out on the side of Blackout, finding onto the 3 ults. I apologize.
3 ults.
Yeah, we see 3 ults come out from Blackout Eclipse in a 5v4, I believe.
I feel like the biggest silver lining there is that the Hanzo ult and the visor came out, and then even the Kasune and the my God, Dong, he's taking over the map, bro.
We can't speak or
I can't even break down what's going on,
Yeah,
bro. I
yeah.
mean, it's
Dongwalker
just
keeps
like,
finding things. It's really impressive what Dongwalker is doing here. He's finding these opening picks, and he's getting Asura this point pressure really early on here. MSR just continues to walk it down, but Pika does go behind him, but it doesn't seem to matter because Dongwalker finds another pick. Hairball finds another kill on the Sky J. Xana pops the ult here. Keep it trying to find something here. Finds Dongwalker as the terrace. Keep it in the back here, trying to find anything, and gets launched into the air. It seems like Asura will have the full cap here, but the Wiener Wizard is back on the Wu Yang. Xana finds the back line, support line of Blackout falls. And
it's kind of still winnable here.
Still winnable here if you're Blackout, but you have to get a pick now. Keep it finding another pick onto Xana. Keep it does eventually fall, and it looks like that might. Oh no, I keep saying that, but Blackout just won't die. Wiener Wizard onto the Lucio, and that will be it on the side of Asura. A very chaotic, hectic fight as Blackout members just pile on the point one after one, staggering.
Yeah, I mean that was a good stall from the side of Blackout. A little bit of a late start from Cupid and a huge early start from Don Wagler, who's just looking to. He's not ready to go out like this. I mean, anyway, but not like this. You know, looking to take this to a map 5. And another score update is this might be a little bit early. I'm not watching CGL's POV. I got this from Wildcard's POV. I think it's only on a 3-minute delay. UTD just took map number 2 in their series, so they are tied with Fallen Vortex going into the 3rd map.
Wow.
Here for those who are not tuning into that series. But again, Sora, man.
Yeah, looking to take it to map 5, and I don't know if you're peeping the numbers in the little on the tab there, but MSR Warriors 21-2. He is just walking down Blackout Eclipse and finding the kills. Of course, Dongwalker 14-5 there, finding all the opening picks in the world to make it possible for MSR Warrior just to feast on Blackout.
MSR Warrior is trying to make, we keep hearing Cupid for MVP, Cupid for MVP. MSR Warrior is trying to make a case for him, I think, in this series. And obviously, Don Wagler having a great moment, but it's just felt like Asura has been consistently, MSR has been consistently what Asura has needed throughout the series.
Exactly. Seems like the Warrior pick is also very much working here on the side of Asura. You do see Cupid rolling out here on the an amazing spear by Pikachu, by the way, there to bring down the Moira. And
you jinxed it, bro. Caster curse.
I know, caster curse. I am so sorry. It seems like whenever we say something, someone just falls. Cupid taking his top right angle, trying to find anything, and gets a nice shot on the hairball. What a nice little shot there. Cupid trying to get warm here, trying to find anything as the last round seems to be a little bit first for him. Wiener Wizard does find a pick onto Dong Wagler. And it seems like a very different story here for Blackout on this attack. Maybe it's an attack buff here on this map here. Asura trying to get this retake here, but this May wall is going to shut MSR Warrior behind the wall. Unable to get heals, but doesn't drop below half health there. Dongwalker coming back on the point here, trying to work his magic here, trying to get a pick, and Cupid does get a pick on the hairball, trying to find something else here. Up on this high ground, uncontested. Cupid grapples up, trying to find anything, but can't find much here. Everyone's a little bit too mobile, but does find Irelia eventually. It does find MSR with a nice headshot there. Pikachu does add on to the collection. Take down MSR, or take down Dongwalker. Blackout have a 5-minute cap.
Finally, you can breathe. Finally, oh my God, another kill. Another kill. Never mind. We can't breathe. We're not allowed to breathe.
I mean, these players just keep finding magic picks. You can't breathe. You can't take a sip of water. It's just, it's just constant action here, and that's what we love about this matchup here. It just seems like every player in the matchup just pop out at any given moment. Like I said, speaking of which, Don Wagler works the magic again. Oh my goodness, Leo Leopard falls down early there. Keep it very, very low here. Try to contest Don Wagler here on the side. Don Wagler on the right side angle. Can't find anything, and Hairball finds a nice rail shot. And finds 2 kills here actually. And Asura finds their footing here on the defense.
Yeah, and now the and now they're coming up. Sorry, I'll process something funny. Now they're coming up on couple of ultimates here. Well, actually, quite a few. They're gonna have 4 out of their 5, and Blackout should have all 4 as well. Outside of the Widow ult that was expended a little bit early in the fight. But again, I mean, it just feels like this is coming down to which DPS wants it more. Is it gonna be Cupid or is it gonna be Dong Wrangler?
Yeah, and I think, yeah. Everyone on the side of Asura is just trying to hold those doors here, trying to find some picks here. An exchange of ult here, of Orisa ult. Asura popping a lot of ults there, popping 3 ults actually in that exchange, but Cupid does fall down to Irelia. But still, Asura having some pretty low members. Pikachu getting a lot of good poke out here, and they start pushing the cart down here. They're coming in from different angles here. Asura still holding the high ground pretty strong here. Blackout can't seem to find a proper push angle here as they fall back and try to get everyone back here.
It looks like they're trying to force Asura to take the fight with them on the low ground, probably because they have that Mei ult ready to go. But you know, Hairball coming up on that Soj ult soon. Dong Waggler looking to try to get a pick onto the Widow is going to have to get out of there. Kiriko dangerously low on the side of Asura, but is going to get healed up. I mean, this is just pandemonium.
Yeah, if you're Blackout, you have to start getting things moving here, especially with how big the cap is for Asura. As we see MSR Warrior still holding this door out here against Pikachu. That seems to be the life objective of Asura right now, trying to hold this door, trying to hold the high ground, which is a great competitive advantage for them. Cupid just trying to find a little bit of an opening here. Asura still seems to be always kind of low. And Blackout just can't seem to punish it. Cupid actually, and as I say that, Cupid does punish Dong Wagger eventually. And trying to find some more picks here, Cupid. Hairball
Finally, the raid boss goes down. I mean, right? Yeah, so you can finally start to walk a little bit, and you're gonna get more kills. I mean, this is the definition of poke here, Alpine. They just sat there and they sat still over and over and over again until somebody died. But Hairball in the back.
That's a little bit.
By.
Oh my
goodness! The drive-by from Cupid. I mean.
Oh my goodness!
I thought Hairball was gonna win that.
Yeah, Hairball had his crosshairs lined up, but Pikachu's a little bit quicker to the draw there. Pikachu just popped the ult and finds that really afford, but MSR is holding the point here, trying to just waste as much time here. Does eventually fall down to Wiener Wizard, and Blackout will have this cap here, but still, you're looking at the time and you think, you know, Asura could still finish with more time, but Blackout, if they push this hard enough, they can have more time.
Yeah, and you coming up on all your ultimates, all your buttons on the side of Asura, outside of the Kasune. Blackout used 2 ultimates there to get something done, but Cupid, another pick on the airball. I can't, like, these DPS are just doing the most right now. If someone could tell them to, you know, chill out for a second so we could talk, that'd be much appreciated.
Yep. Cupid trying to find something with the down. Can't find much. The dragon goes out on the cart and just try to stall a bit of time. Cupid knows there's people there, but no one's willing to peek him. Does take a little bit of damage from Dong Waggler. Hairball does have his overclock loaded, but Cupid does find a pick on Irelia really early on, and Asura just fall back. Cupid finds another one onto MSR. Oh my goodness, Pikachu finds another pick. Wow, that is a great fight if you're Blackout. I believe you only used Kitsune that fight. No, sorry.
You used your B too.
Yeah, oh, and B, yep, I forgot about the perk that, I'm sorry, the passive there. Asura walking out to the right doors. And
oh my!
Extremely early, but Hairball does pop the overclock, trying to find something, trying to find anything to
oh my!
Cupid finds 2 picks, but Dong Waggler does eventually take him down. And it's just, can Dong Waggler find anything else here to try to slow the pain down, but it doesn't seem so. We'll finish off with very similar time banks here. 139 in the left in the bank for Blackout Eclipse. We have a very even fight here.
This has been an insane map, and this is kind of how the first series between Blackout Eclipse and Asura went, in a way, because again, you know, they did win 3-0, but it was very close on both sides. So yeah, I mean, it just feels like that last ink was nasty. I mean, yeah.
Cupid chirping in chat. Classic, yeah. Classic Cupid.
And a nice shot, Hanzo. I mean, yeah, these teams clearly have got mutual respect for each other. They're playing their hearts out. Asura. Pickle said no, they do not. But okay. Well,
And
no,
if
but
you've,
see, but Dong Wagler
yeah,
saying thanks, bro. Your
it's a
widow is
wholesome
nice.
lobby.
See, it's a
This is
wholesome
this.
lobby. There definitely wasn't any argument about the substitute situation
Yeah,
earlier.
uh-huh.
Definitely not.
And
Um,
this seems to be a different Cupid than on the picking screen. Um,
well, I was told that if Blackout wins, he's doing the post game interview. So Lord help us both,
oh boy.
if he does, because I don't want to do that. But anyway, let's get started here on this third round. See what Kiva can get done here, or if Asura can adapt and maybe take us to a map 5.
Yeah, Blackout starting once again on this attack, starting the tempo early, or trying to get the tempo going here. Pika kind of low on cart here, and Cupid can't seem to find much of anything really. Only saw maybe a peeking Xana one time, but other than that, it seems like Asura just holding this cover really well, knowing not to peek Cupid on Widow because that is a dangerous prospect. A lot of poke coming out here. Dongwag are also not finding much here. Um, in the fight. Amazon Warrior again with those spears, man. Just finds an opening pick onto the Leo Leopard. That's a huge pick on the side of Asura. Bring down that. Oh, and pick a pick on the Dongwag. Oh my goodness gracious! Amazon Warrior with another nasty spear to bring down Cupid.
Someone pull up this guy's spear accuracy. At the end of this match, I'm gonna ask him to provide screenshots, bro.
Yeah.
Because it feels like he's hitting every single one.
Yeah, and we see Amazon Warrior throwing
Is that
the
shield tech? That's
yeah,
Overwatch 1 shield tech.
Yeah, oh my goodness, and it delays just straight in front of him. Oh my goodness, we see some amazing shield tech come out here. Come out from
yeah, sorry, Pika. You're not familiar with this game. You're not familiar. Bro's been playing Orisa since Overwatch 1. Yeah. And clearly it's shown because he is just carrying the team on his back right now. And it's just, Blackout hasn't even gotten around the first corner yet.
Yeah, this is a very different story from the Asura defense last round, and it's in the last fight territory now. You have to get things going. You can't let Wiener Wizard build up to that beat right now. If you're the side of Asura, you have to kill Wiener Wizard right here, right now. They do exactly that with Terrible finding the pick on the Wiener Wizard. Xana popping the ult, trying to get Pikachu really low, and Dolma also finds Skyjay. Pikachu goes down, and that will be it for Blackout Eclipse's attack there.
Yeah,
wow,
that was
just
color galore all over
stimulation
the screen.
simulator right there.
Yeah, and the map 5 is looking like a reality, Alpine.
Yeah.
Blackout's pretty much going to have to hold them at the doors to get something done. And, there's a minute 42 to accomplish that. But again, the Widow sightlines on attack there are so limited that it's just hard to do anything. I don't think Dong Wagler got, an opening pick like we're accustomed to, within this map. But he didn't have to because that was the MSR show. Last map, Pika and Cupid were dunking. This map, MSR and Dong Wagler are dunking. I can't. These names, bro. Wiener Wizard and Dong Wagler. I mean, who's gonna prevail?
Yeah. And Hairball, yep. MSR Warrior. If I had to give an MVP of this map right now, it has to be MSR Warrior right now. Of course, Dong Wagler finding all these opening picks. Very good contender there, but MSR just seems to, run everything down and seems just to find all these necessary kills to win fights.
It just feels like anytime. I cast Blackout, some weird sentence comes out of my mouth. Like last time, I think there was this clip of me saying, "Did you just say Wiener Wizard was transcending?" And that was definitely a weird one. But anyway, we're getting started here, and Blackout starting out pretty far back.
Yeah, really far back, trying to just hold the box of lottery winning here against Asura. MSR Warrior falling down to half health, and it's getting actually dangerously close without Blackout contesting it. Leo Leopard finally steps up to the fight to contest it, and all Asura really needs here is to win this one fight. Hairball getting extremely low. Leo Leopard still big chilling on this corner here. The back line of Asura is kind of falling a little bit low, and Leo Leopard is getting extremely low. Dongwag are finding a lot of damage there. That could be really dangerous for Blackout there, and Cupid gets picked really early there. MSR Warrior once again finding all these picks here. MSR Warrior running it down here, just walking down. Winners doesn't find that pick onto Irelia. And this could be.
Oh my god.
No, Wiener Wizard said that I do not want to go out like this right now. keep it coming back on the Tracer. And wow, dude, I mean, heroic efforts from Pikachu and Wiener
Oh,
Wish
the
there.
stagger!
The
Oh,
stagger
that's
onto John
dangerous.
Weiser is dangerous. But if you're Blackout, you have to win this last fight. But you're coming up on window really soon here. And if you look on the side of Asura, just look at the Kiri gap, the Kiri ult gap right there. That could be really dangerous on the side of Asura.
There
This is
are
gonna be
quite
a
a
very
few ultimates coming on, but also they're
yeah.
all ultimates. I mean, they have the Hanzo, and he's just gonna send it down main here.
Yeah, Hairball
What's
falling
the
and getting the
point?
ice block force really early there. And the May
Oh,
Blizzard's
it's
gonna be
huge. That's huge.
huge for Blackout. Keep it finding an early pick on a Hairball. MSR Warrior popping it
Wait
off.
a
It's also
minute.
gonna find another pick onto Leo Leopard, and that's gonna be it here, folks, for Asura. And
Yeah, I
that
mean,
goes out.
it was dramatic. It was fought till the end. Azora proved that they are no team to be, laughed at or taken lightly. But Blackout, I mean, in the end, what we ultimately expected, ultimately taking the win here off of Azora, maybe how they would like it, but a win is a win. And despite the loss here from Asura, you got to be happy with some of the results. Taking it to one of the better teams in Group Two, and MSR just that Orisa, man, it struck gold.
Yeah, it did. When I put it, when I a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was a week ago, when I did a bracket prediction, I did say MSR would win them a map at least. And maybe it wasn't just MSR to win them a map. Of course, it was everyone to help win them a map, that first map there. But there was I did predict that Asura would win a map here. It's just
Yeah, well, I'm very impressed with how both teams played. I felt like Blackout was able to kind of crawl their way back into the series, but we are going to cut to a break here. Do have an interview with someone from Blackout on the other side of this, so you don't want to miss it. And hopefully, it's not Cupid, but only time will tell. So
God save us
we will
all. God
be
save us all.
we will be back here in just a few moments. We'll see
So
you on the other side of yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, and we have our interviewers here, Pikachu and Cupid of Blackout Eclipse. How are you two doing today? How was it?
Pika,
I
you go
am doing
first.
great. I'm doing great, bro. I am actually having such a good time. That's 2 wins in a row with Pikachu in on tank. I'm so back.
Cupid, how are you doing?
I'm smiling with my teeth right now.
That's great to
Glad
hear,
to,
Cupid. It's great to hear.
glad to hear
Great,
it.
actually, great. Yeah, great to hear from both of you. And of course, we're gonna be here asking you some questions and about the match and maybe
Okay.
even upcoming matches. And I'll go ahead and start. Of course, today was maybe a little bit closer than maybe you guys anticipated or whatnot, or maybe
Mm.
some people, other people anticipated. Does that affect your guys' mental at all? Being in the
No!
cage.
We were beating
Loki,
ourselves, bro.
yeah. Um, we so I'll go first, I guess. But we after that first map, I was kind of stressed out. I was a little worried. And then Shoreline made the call to put me in on tank, and I was like, oh, okay. I haven't played Kings Row in months. So I was a bit surprised at that at first. I was kind of overwhelmed on that defense.
Yeah. Glad to hear that it's not going to be affecting y'all's mentals too much. Um, I will say, it felt like Asura was kind of running some really weird compositions. We
Jeez.
we said on okay, let's not say all that. We said on stream we felt like they were kind of just pulling out like a wheel and they were just spinning it, and then whatever it landed on they were playing. Um, what was like the biggest struggle for you guys to find some footing in? Because it felt like every map had to be won in some dramatic fashion, and all the composition. Did you feel like the compositions played a part in that, or how do you guys feel about that?
Low
um,
key, the reason it was so close, I think was like my pregame meal. It wasn't too great, so I don't know. I was just like a little off my game today, you know.
to be honest, I just kind of like started making calls for myself. I was like, I'm just gonna play this hero instead because I'm confident enough to win the mirror.
Yeah, that's good. So, um, yeah. So talk me through. After Kings Row, you guys
Mm.
hold on, and obviously, they run the they were unfortunately down.
Yeah.
But a map win is a map win to get you back in the series. You unfortunately lose that first one. What did you guys have to do to kind of like pull yourselves back in it and realize you could win the series?
They made me mad because
Honest, kind of true.
yeah, they were like talking so heavy,
Oh
yo.
my gosh. Yeah.
Like,
So, uh, can I steal the spotlight real quick, Cupid?
okay,
Um, Thank you, sir. But so in the Asura versus Nature's Bloom match, they were talking so much in the chat, and I was just like, oh, I already know they're about to be doing that again. And then they started doing it again. And on Suravasa, or no, yeah, on Suravasa, they were like, oh yeah, even when we off roll, we can 3-1. And I was like, what? Like actually befuddled about what they're saying.
Hmm.
hey, hairball, I got a message for you. You owe me some money. You feel me? You owe me the mega billions. 3-2, guaranteed, or your money back. Huh?
Mm.
Huh? Pay
Uh-huh.
me my money.
All right, Hairball, beware because Cupid is looking for his money. And I have one final question
All
for
right.
you guys. With the shoe, with you guys now going against shoes next week, you think you guys have a really good game plan for them? Of course, you don't have to share anything with us about it. But you think you have a really good game plan for
Oh,
them
no,
to
I'll
win?
tell you our whole plan. So, we're getting into the game, right? And we're thinking about what we're going to run. We're picking our team, and we're walking through choke, and we're going to shoot them.
Ooh,
Very good
that's
plan.
kind of
Huh?
controversial.
Uh, That's a good plan.
I might have said too much. They might beat us now.
He might have. Um, I mean, we do have some things cooking up. We're gonna be labbing it for sure. And I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, we don't
Alrighty.
get 3 0'd in a half hour again. That would be not fun.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Cupid and Pika. Great
Thank you.
games today, guys. Very
Okay,
excited for you
I have a
guys.
question.
I wish you, yes, please.
Can you ask me about my 5K really quick?
No.
Yes.
Dang it!
Thank you,
You can
Cupid
tell
and
Masters
Pika.
here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and he
Wait,
left. He
wait.
rage quit.
Pikachu Rookie of the Year. Pikachu Rookie of the Year.
Pikachu,
Pikachu
Rookie
Rookie
of the
of the
Year.
Year.
You heard it here,
Congratulations,
folks.
guys.
Pikachu, Rookie of the Year.
Enjoy your win with your team.
Alrighty, and of course, thanks to those guys for hearing it, and I believe that's it for us, Vert.
Yes.
Very exciting match today. And of course, if you want to see Blackout play again, I believe they play. They play in the next 3 days against Shoes Production Crew, so be on the eye out for that. And of course, right after you're done here, please go watch the Fallen Vortex versus UTD Zenith game. Very
Yeah, I'm
exciting
already
spectacular
tuning
match.
in.
It sounds like Cupid
Yeah.
may have invaded Vert's room there.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing.
But thank you to everyone for watching. We this again. This has been Alpine and my co-caster Vert, and thank you Prod for making this all happen. And we will see you next time.
Yeah. See ya.